Strange. Strange because on YouTube I see recording of just my face. For the next 5 minutes or so, I will just make sure everything works, both on Twitch and YouTube. Then I will start solving problems. Yeah, I think it works. Today round is delayed till May 6. Can you do boring live stream on this joint set union, please? Not now. Now I am going to solve some random problems. And those problems will be... What should I do? There was recently... I think this was a cancelled contest. Yeah, I will absolve D. I think I had a working solution, I just need to debug it. And then move to what? What do I have here? Codeforces division 2. There is division 1 right here. I'm not going to do virtual participation. Maybe I will just take a look at problems starting from C. Yeah, so that's the plan. Today I will mainly do problems from round 635. Interactive problem. Though I heard some bad opinions about at least one of those. We'll see. First, it will be this. Nastia and time machine. Now I need to check if chat works. Hello YouTube, TVM, Parik, Mocht, hi. Hello from Poland, hello. Codeforces is down, please choose some other platform. What? Doesn't seem to be down. Is this a good place to advertise by the way? Not here. I will just edit this comment. I don't want to spam. Edit. Going. If now with solving of division 1 problems anyway. I will start in 2 minutes or so. And on Twitch everything seems to work as well. Hello Gaming Boy, Elgenfong, and Sandstrud. Have you won t-shirts from LeetCode April Challenge? Were there any t-shirts? I got some coins. Today I'm not doing any lecture right now. This will be just me solving problems. Starting with this one, Nasty and Time Machine. I have a code for that. Yeah. I will try to debug this or write a new one. Oh, it's DCPP anyway. I already prepared empty files like ACPP with empty main to start the Codeforces round efficiently. This will be that problem. I will maybe decrease size of my face. Is there a way to hide those things on the right? Well, that's some method. the queue is too long. I think it will take a lot of time to judge your submission. Let me check. If that's the case, then maybe indeed it isn't a good thing to use Codeforces right now. That would be a pity. But then I can solve problems without submitting, to be honest. It isn't a huge deal. I don't remember how to pop out chat on Twitch. Yeah, I don't see it. Just doing some things on my second monitor right now. Okay, everything should be fine. What does Camille mean? Camille is just a name. Why should it mean something? Indeed, Codeforces is down, but I will still code something and submit much later. So problem D. Problem D. From Codeforces round what? 637. There was a tree, we need to go through it, starting from the root. And sometimes we can get back in time, and we need to the maximum turn should be minimized. If you try to exceed some time, you need to get back to time 0 or something like that. And I got, I think, a correct idea for a solution. I just need to fix it. Switch to AddCoder. We'll see. For now, Codeforces, I will just not submit. Not a big deal. I remember that for this test, I need to debug this test. My solution had too many things on the output, 14, and I need to just analyze this. What's the difference? And fix some condition inside, or just think about it. DFS, go for children, gather them in a vector. Children.size was apparently important. For every child, the number of remaining children decreases by 1. So remaining is always how many children there are on the right. His want, and there was something that if I am second 5, then I will get to him on second 6. And he needs to get back to me on second 6. If t is equal limit, then do something special. T++. Gather that. This is a temporary variable, just not named correctly. I think after this problem, I will start with something from scratch, then it will be easier for you to understand what happens. Here I'm just debugging something old. Also, you can follow me on Twitch. In a few days, I will have a boring stream and some problem-solving stream, maybe from AddCoder. During boring stream, I will plan more things for the future, like graph lecture, maybe DP with bitmasks lecture. Please solve some tough offline problems. I don't know what that would be. I'm not going to read the whole chat. There are too many messages. If you want me to read something, tag me. Say @Errichto. Oh, sound was turned on somewhere. So what's this? I need a drawing, don't I? I need a drawing tablet. On Ubuntu, I cannot change settings of my tablet, and I cannot draw properly here. Let's go with Paint or whatever. Oh no, that's very bad. Look how I'm trying to write 1, 2, and so on. Because tablet is mapped into 2 Windowses, like 2 monitors. I think I cannot use this. And this is why Windows is better for streaming and for videos. Yeah, not a beautiful thing. Nope, that's not going to work. 1, 2, 2 connected to 3, also connected to 4, and 4 is connected to 5. When our grandparents didn't have Paint or drawing tablets, this is how they drew a tree. Oh, please don't spam. What is happening? How to ban you? Here you go. You are banned from chat. Can you also take some time to explain how to actually create meaningful test case for problems? Not today, for sure. This is not the goal of this stream. I'm solving problems. Yeah, and let's analyze what happened here. 1, 0. Or better, let's analyze if they have good sample output for that. 2, 1, 3, 2, 3, 1. So we get back here to moment 1. Then 2, 2. 4, 3, 4, 1. Limit will be for sure 3. Limit of time. And what my program tries to do. 1, 0, 2, 1, 3, 2, 3, 1, 2, 2. This is for now the same. 2, 2, and then 4, 2. That's stupid. When I move from 2 to 4, the time should be greater by 1. Something is wrong there. If this doesn't happen, then I increase time by 1, in place back, and move to that child. Time is global. If you want to read the problem statement, here is the title, you can Google it. Now what happens when I get back from a child? It was T++, and DFS. After something happened, what if you are a leaf? You never do T++, and that sounds bad. So what happens if this part does nothing? If you are a leaf, what is want? Get there on that time. And after we are done, we do T++. Oh, that's confusing. That's confusing. I don't like this problem. Can you solve this question too? I can look at it after this problem, but was going to do the previous Division 1 contest after this one. In this problem, in very short, we go through a tree. Every time like, passing an edge, it takes 1 second, but also we can get back in time. But we cannot be at the same moment at the same time, at the same vertex. I should write down some logic for that. Okay, 3 was here. 2, 2, 3, 1, 2, 2, 3, 1. Then I get back up. No, it was. Let me rewrite that. 2, 1, 3, 2, 3, 1. This is getting back in time. 2, 2. And now going to another child, we go to 4, 3. But I am not doing that. I'm writing 2, 2. And then I'm passing an edge without increasing time. TMP. For every child, his want is T. Shouldn't I increase time before going to a child? That's very strange. What am I doing? Regarding creating meaningful tests, I will sometime cover that, but not today. Why don't you use CS Academy's graphing tool to make drawing graphs easier? Is it possible there to mark anything on that drawing later? Because here I can say, oh, time 2. I don't know if I can do that on CS Academy. So move there. Maybe I should write this solution from scratch. For every child, how do I run this? -1, time is equal to 0. That sounds correct. Answer implies back this. DFS assumes that the entry for this vertex was already put there with some particular time. Now, on this time, what happens? Iterate for children, and other than this if condition, let's hide it. We increase t by 1, then we go there, we tell him what we want, how we want to finish, something happens there, and then we know when I will be over here again. TMP. Okay, I think I understand what happened. When there was 3, 1, I am vertex 1. 1 went to its child. Sorry, 3 is the vertex. 2 went to 3. 3 got back to 2 and gave him the value of 2. 1 second, somebody on Discord is writing to me. Maybe you can use this for drawing. The issue is with my drawing tablet, not software, guys. I mean, I can draw with a mouse, but it will be very ugly. It's always unpleasant when you're solving a problem and you need to think about some details like plus minus 1. So let's think. If I'm here on time t, I move there on time like t plus 1. My goal is to get back to above vertex, to also visit it at time t plus 1. And this is true. 2, 1, 2, 2. But after 2, 2, who is putting me there? Who is putting 2, 2? Well, this thing. and this is equal to TMP, which is equal to t, and this is after increasing by 1. Okay, but should I say additional t++ before that? Yes, when I move back in time, this is an issue. If t is equal limit, we do something to get back. So in place back this, t is equal that. Let's analyze what moving back in time does, because that happened in a child. If I'm not a root, well, a root is vertex 1, yes, it is. And some special condition, then this is new time. Answer in place back that new time, and t becomes that, and then we do t++, but this is what happens when I iterate through children. 3 doesn't have any children, so did 3 move back in time or not? What happened? If 1 is not -1, oh, he moved back in time here. Maybe t++? No, that's stupid. Or is it? Compilation failed. Because all of that should be a comment. What is happening in chat? Try online OneNote? What is happening? I told you that. You saw that my drawing tablet doesn't work well on Ubuntu. It's about drivers, not software. For free, now it's better. Now it is better. Let's analyze further. For free, I'm here at time 3. Let's remove this comment to make it easier to read. At time equal to 3, then I move back to time 2. Then I move to this thing on time 3, get back to 0, and something strange is happening here. My condition for getting back in time is bad, for sure. Let's think what should happen. 3 is getting back to 2. 2 increases to 3. 3, it should, I think, change to 1, shouldn't it? Five zero 5 3. Yes, something very bad happened over here. Font is not -1. You will be my debugging duck. Iterate over children. Let's say that the current time is, let's say the current time is 5. His want is 5. We'll understand in a moment what it means. Then his want also becomes 5. Let's say this doesn't apply. Then time becomes 6. I say that I go there and I will get there on time 6. TMP becomes t, so this is 6. His want is still 5. DFS on that, t global variable t is equal to 6. Then answer in place back a comma TMP, so 6. I was here on time 5 and I get back here on time 6. And his want, it means that I want to finish you on time equal to 5. Because if I finish in a child on time 5, I will get back to a parent on time 6. Okay, that's correct. Now what about an if? If t is equal to the limit, so I cannot increase by 1. Then I need to create new time. I will get back in time right here. Answer in place back a comma this new time. And here there is some formula to calculate the new time. If it's a root, it's okay to get back to 0. Otherwise, if something is true, then this. Let's analyze. Want is when I want to finish. Let's say that the number of remaining children is 0. Then this will become just equal to want. But after that, we have this. So I believe this is what I need. Because later I increase time by 1. If this is greater than 0, greater equal, right? Compilation failed, yeah. As I said, if you want me to possibly reply to a comment in the chat, please mark me, like at Errichto2 or something like that. 5.2, 5.3, this is better now. I'm removing that just for visibility. 5.2, but something happened above, right? 4.3, 4.2. So 4.3 changed into 4.1. Then we entered 5 on second 2. And we should just, what? 4.3. On time 3. I think it was incorrect to say that we get back to moment 1. But let's see, then 2, 3, 4. I want to get back here at the end, give it back from a child on moment 4, so this should be 3. So 2 would be convenient. From 2 I will get to 3, and 3 will move me to 4. I need number bigger by 1. Maybe previous number was good. The number of remaining children is 0. Want is that final thing. What? Was that correct a second ago? Four, 3, 4, 2, 5, 3. Why this? 2, 5, 3, and 5, 3 should just get back to be 4, 4. This is some debug information. Five wants to finish to be a 3. And let's also print A, print want. A is a vertex. And print time t. On time 3, I'm exactly here. I don't have any children. Then why anything happens for a 5? Nothing happens for children. If t is equal limit. Oh, I cannot finish to be a 3. Because after that, time is exceeded. So what should 4 do in the first place? 3 is limit for time. I cannot enter something on time plus 1. So what happens for this? If I'm already so big, then I don't want to be a 4. No, this will be a special case. If I'm moving to a child, I'm already this. If t is equal to the limit, I don't know. I don't like this. I might rewrite that or just give up and move to another problem. Also, because this is a stream and for you, there isn't really much value from me looking at my past code. So let's switch. Yeah, sorry about that. Oh, my solution was judged. So let's move to checking out problems from this contest. Because this, I will maybe later absolve that, maybe not. Maybe I should write a solution from scratch. New problem, C or D, one of those two. Then I guess I will do E. I will read both and pick whichever I prefer. There is a string of length m. And all strings that start like that are magic spells. There's also another string S and an empty string. If you want to find a problem, just Google this. Can you take a look at this question? But so replying to Debal. Also, there is no need to spam me in both chats. What's special about that problem? Phoenix and berries. Is there a reason for me to check it out? I was going to solve Division 1 problems. If you have some reason to claim that it's more interesting or better than what I'm going to do, then sure. Dynamic. If you're saying it's dynamic programming, wait. Oh, I twice opened Twitch chat. Dynamic programming isn't an advantage. There are two different operations. Delete the first character of S and add it to the front at the front of A. Delete the first character of S and add it at the back of A. There is string S, and repeatedly we take first character and add it to one of sides of initially empty string A. No more than n operations, because n is length of string S. She wants to know the number of different operation sequences to make A a magic spell. At the end, A should have a prefix, that special prefix. Two operations are considered different if they are different in length or there exists different in length. No, she can finish earlier. S and then T. This is the prefix I want to get. I don't like this example. This is stupid too. But let's analyze. Is this also D? This is C. BA is the goal. I take first character of the string. Let's say it's removed now. And I'm creating a new string. Then take the next character. And every time I'm removing character from the first string, I'm appending it or prepending it to this string. Then take A and add it to the end or to the beginning. Let's say to the beginning. Then remove B and add it, let's say, to the beginning. At the end, I can stop also earlier. If this has BA as prefix, then it is a good string. I need to count the number of ways to choose operations, prefix like beginning or end, such that BA will be a prefix at the end. And somebody said this problem is a boring dynamic programming. You're talking about this one? From limits, I'm guessing that it's indeed dynamic programming, but let me think for a moment. What happens? After we are done, so there was some long string here. I removed few first characters and created something out of this. Let's say the goal string is goal. Why not? Then I claim that if I already have this partial string, then what is important is how long prefix of that is a suffix of the goal. Like here, this 2. If now I add O at the beginning, then prefix of length 3 is good. If I add Z to the beginning, then prefix of length 0 is good. Depending on a new character here, some other length of a string here will be fine. And I can just count ways for that, right? It will be dp of removed characters already from this, and how long suffix matched of that. If I'm adding a character to the end of that, I will just move like that, from dp of ij to dp of I plus 1j. Otherwise, I'm adding a character, so it will be from dp of ij to dp of I plus 1, and here kind of next of j and this character, where this is like from KMP. How long suffix now we have? Can I preprocess that in brute force way? I think I can. Can't I? Yeah, that should be fine. Not an interesting problem, but quite short one, so I will code it. Max is my variable for max length. dp will initially, dp is the number of ways, right? Yeah, max modulo, not this. Like anybody will think anyway that this is FFT. I don't like that modulo, but maybe it's good to always use it. Read as and read go. As preprocessing, for every suffix of this, I will decide if this new character appears, then how long suffix I have. Can I create a set of those suffixes? No. I wonder if I can avoid hashes. Like, it's good to do a brute force if this is possible. So I'm going to do a brute force. It's something like that. If the goal string is this, let's say BAB, and I already have BAB, if I add character A, then I will have a BAB. But more complicated example is, let's say, if I already have this, BA, BCB, and now, yeah, this, and now I'm adding here C, which doesn't match, still this matches that suffix. This is quite normal in suffix algorithms. For every suffix length from this, let's create N for the longer thing and M for shorter thing, goal length. For every suffix length from 0 up to M, for every new character, those are lowercase English letters. I can say they are from 0 to 25. And this. If there exists a next character and it matches this one, goal of sufflen is equal this thing. The next of sufflen and this character is sufflen plus 1. This means I correctly expand this suffix. Wait a second. At the beginning, It sounds like I completely skipped the fact that characters can be added to the end. Why did I do that? That might be important too, right? Why did nobody in the chat tell me that I'm doing something stupid? Just joined, haven't seen previous broadcasts, so just wondering how long will it take to solve a problem, so around will the current problem get over? 20 minutes, maybe 40 minutes, something like that. Can you suggest DP tutorial? Watch my DP lectures on YouTube, on the main channel, Errichto, without a 2 in the name. So in that goal, actually every time I have some substring of it. Oh, that's more annoying. If goal is this, then at some moment I might have this substring. And I can keep appending. The state isn't just suffix, the state is a substring. And now if I add a new character to the beginning or at the end, then I need to say, oh, it changes into some new substring, right? If finally this is not a substring, then I start caring about a suffix. Yep. But if it is a substring, then so it will be dp of removed. There's also dp0 of removed, and not suffix matched, but like if I know how many characters I removed, then I know how long substring I have. If I removed 5 characters, it means string I'm currently creating has 5 characters. So it will be some other dp, 0 and where start. Let's say it will mean that I'm matching substring starting from here of this length. And once I don't have any substring, then this will start mattering. And when I have a substring, I cannot pre-process that. I will need hashes or some smarter structure. Do I need that? I think I know a solution. I will look up in the editorial if there is a way to do what I just said. You shouldn't look at editorial so quickly. For me, it is quite an easy problem, and I don't want to spend time on, for me, boring implementation. Let fi be the answer when this has already been used at the current will be in this position. I think they have the same thing. Yeah, sounds the same to me. But do they have hashes or something like that? No, they don't. So I need to think. Can you do something like for each character in S, label it 0 or 1 for putting in prefix or suffix, and then you want first all zeros, then ones. But zeros will be from the end and ones will be from the beginning. So that's complicated. I don't think it gives me anything new. Okay, I didn't read the editorial carefully. I need to think why I don't need some smart transitions. In my opinion, I need some string algorithm like KMP. Why it's easier than that? I have a substring, right? Like, let's say goal is target get target target. Let's say this is the target thing. And I already matched this. Does it repeat? No. Let's say GE. If now, then I'm in particular here. If now I'm adding X to the end, I need to know that it is allowed. It is allowed here. Unless I say that I know exactly where I am, let's say that the fact that I can start with GE, it will mean there is one way to be here, one way to be here. I need to remember to scroll this up a little bit so that new people, when they enter a stream, they can search for this problem. Yeah, in DP, I will say that this substring is possible in one way, this is possible in one way, and now when I add X, it can be added to the beginning or to the end. And like for every such substring, this will be created. Okay, so maybe a new idea, DP of left, right, number of ways to get this substring. It will be equivalent to that. R minus L says how many characters I already removed. And then I'm trying to expand it by 1. It might happen that I have a string like this, ARG VS, let's say. Then this is important. And then I would say that this doesn't matter, but I can know I have 5 characters starting from this one. Okay, let's say that at the end from this there are wildcards, question marks, that will match anything. And I now am matching this. On the end I can, at the end I can add anything. At the beginning I can add just T. Yeah, sounds good to me. Let's say that target is this. I'm expanding target by 3000 question marks and substring. Which contest are we doing here? You can Google this name, then you will have everything. But this is from round 635. With this observation, this problem is very cool. Why did somebody say it's boring DP? This observation is very nice. This is not a good place to make requests for videos. In a few days I will have boring stream, then you can join or put comments below the video later and suggest new things. Do I have enough memory? 6000 times 6000 times int, so 4 bytes. This would be 36 times 4, so around 140 megabytes. That's good enough. I think I can cut that in half. Okay, let's say this and nax, that 2 times nax. It will be 70 megabytes. It will be DP of start and end. And I imagine that this target, this is target. Let's call it target because I prefer that word. Is expanded to the right with infinite amount of question marks. When I have first character, I can put it wherever, assuming it's question mark or it matches the character. If target is ABCADD and my first character is B, then I can say it's either here or anywhere on the right because those are wildcards, question marks. And later, every next character, it will just expand things by 1. Does it make sense? Yeah, awesome. So first character will be special. It will be s of 0. For everything inside the target. If target of I is equal s of 0, then dp of I is 1. And for everything starting from m up to, let's say, n plus m, I think this should be enough. Even smaller than n plus m should be enough. Those are question marks. Also dp of I is 1. And now for every next character in S, I try to expand things in dp. For every start, let's say true, plus plus. Now end, I can compute end. It will be interval from L to R. If I do something like that, for 1, I think I need to put -1. Because for I equal to 1, I want to say I start from interval like 5, 5, and I expand it by 1. If R greater equal n plus m break, I don't want to continue, I'm too far on the right. And now this interval from L to R, I expand in one of two directions, left or right. If L is greater than 0, and I want to say this, dp target of L minus 1, but this is not entirely true. It's also allowed if this is a question mark, something that matches everything. And then dp of L minus 1 R plus equal dp of LR with modulo. And also if R is smaller than something, I don't even need that, dp of LR plus 1, if again this with some exception for question marks. And at the end, what will be the answer? Is equal 0 for every R starting from this, because this is the last character in target. If I catch that I indeed have the whole S, the whole target, R smaller equal like whatever here. I don't care even about plus minus 1, because if I'm too far away it will be 0. Answer plus equal dp of 0 R. It means that I have all characters I need as prefix. Just let's fix modulo and add some check for a wildcard, a question mark. I like to have such a function for modulo. It will do a plus equal b. Then just use it. And question marks. So what do they do? L minus 1 greater equal m or this? Because if that's true, then I'm on the right from target. There are only question marks there. Let's hope for 12. 6. Close enough. Because the first operation can be, it doesn't matter what is the first operation. It can be add to the beginning or the end or of empty thing. I claim that all my answers are twice too small. If yes, that's very easy to fix. 2, and here let's hope to see 12. Yeah, 12. Then I can do this, or at the end multiply answer by 2. Doesn't matter. I enjoyed this problem a lot. I don't know if editorial says the same thing. I think they do describe the same code, but I like the explanation about question marks. Wrong answer. Something's wrong. Right? Here. Well, they started from saying that something is a length. For me, I have left and right end. Maybe I will need to fix that, do something about that. Wrong answer. Integer overflow. Oh, sure. During a contest, I wouldn't make such a mistake. I wrote first plus equal that, just to explain to you what is happening. During a contest, I would immediately use this. Submit code, see, submit. Then I will take the next problem from that contest, I guess. How quickly did people solve it? See. 7 minutes, 15, 20. Yes, 7 is so fast, but it would take me, I guess, around half an hour during a contest. It helped me a lot to understand by looking at the tutorial that something can be done simpler, and only then I understood that. Can you stop chat writing things about DSU? It has nothing to do with this stream. You forget the module of her answer. Yes, thank you, Jessine, for noticing that, or Yesine. Dropped frames, error. Everything seems fine on my end. If something doesn't work in the future, you can try YouTube instead of Twitch. There's a link in the chat. I have runtime error. Oh, why did I do this? The beginning can also be on the right, just among wildcards. This was honestly my mistake. No excuse here. My DP was DP of start end, the number of ways to start our string in such a way, like to do some prefix of operations in such a way that I have a prefix of target string from start to end. Like if target was tr, exactly this, let's say this is target, then dp of 4 up to 8 would mean that 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, that I'm matching this substring. But things on the right I treat as wildcards. Accepted, cool. Next problem. I find it funny that I might ban DSU from the chat. Usually people swear in the chat, or I don't know, they just say some meme, and here people spam with DSU. It's fine. Okay, I'm glad. So maybe the issue was just for a moment with those dropped frames, or just for one person. An interactive problem. I think this is problem where I heard that it's very ugly, but I will read it. Again, if you're new to a stream, you can Google on Google Codeforces and this name, and you will find the problem. Each tile has an integer value between 1 and n. At most, n tiles in the set have the same value. You want to figure out which values are on the tiles. There's a triplet. There is a like straight, like in poker, consecutive numbers. Gives you the number of triplet subsets and straight subsets of the initial set respectively. After that, you can insert a tile and there will be a new answer. So there is some hidden set. I'm given information about how many triplets there are, how many ways to choose three equal values and 3 consecutive values. And then I insert a new number in this set. Try to guess the number of tiles in the initial set with value I. And I need to just find the whole set. Let's try to understand this. Problem D. Can I remove this? I didn't like it. Yeah, I'm removing this. This is that problem from the beginning of a stream where I just tried to debug something from a contest where I think I got a correct idea. I even talked with somebody who solved the problem. It was the same solution. I just need to figure out where exactly to put if for 0 or something. So this is no problem. Yui and I have no idea how to say it. Mahjong set. First, let's analyze this a little bit. The sequence, this set can be described by numbers, by the count of every element. If there are 5 ones, then let's say 5. If there are 2 numbers 2, then this. Let's say there are 10 numbers 3, and single 4, and 0 5s. Then the number of triples the first set, the initial set of tiles is this. This has 1 triple. Okay. It will be so it will be 5 choose 3, the number of ways to choose a triple out of 5 elements, plus 10 choose 3, and so on. Those are binomial coefficients if you want to look them up. Coefficients. This is first number, and then for number of straight triples, it will be this plus 2 times 10 plus 2 times 10 times 1, this product times that product times here a 0. And what happens when I add a number? Let's say I add this. Then in the first number, this is number 1, number 2. Number 1 is increased by new count plus 1 choose 3 minus the previous count choose 3. Number 2 is increased by, instead of 5 to 10, now I have 5 3 10. So it increased by 5 times 10. This is like previous number times next number. Let's call it AI as well. But also this is in that product. So it also increased by that. And by yet previous product, assuming that It exists. Two previous numbers do exist. I think that's what happens. And from those increases, I need to figure out the array A. Problem rated 1 million. What is this rated? It's what? This is 3200? It would be a huge difficulty. I cannot solve such a problem during a stream. Okay, people took an hour at least to solve it. Somebody solved it in 30 minutes. I will think about it for a moment. I'm leaving problem title if somebody wants to search. If numbers are big, just from this I will figure out the answer, right? If there was number 5, and this is what, 5 times 4 times 3 over that, 10, then this is 654 divided by 6, 20. With this, if number 1 was 175 and after a moment it is 185, then I know it increased by 10. So apparently previous number of elements was 5. New one is 6. And this cannot be done only if this count a moment ago was that if a of I is 0 or a of I is 1 or I is 2. If it's 3 or more, I will figure it out. Is it guaranteed that every element exists? Can I get, for example, 0, 0? This set can be empty. Yes, that can be just zeros. Let's skip it then. I will try to think for a moment. Maybe let's solve situation with just zeros. If I ask about, if I increase the first element and so on, wait a moment. I wonder if I need to touch every element. Okay. For every position, I might want to increase it by 1. Do I need to do all of them? Maybe n-1 of them will be enough. If I figure out n-1 elements, for free I will figure out also the last element. Is it just me, for me, or the audio has some delay? If it is only for you, then try refreshing the website for sure. With sequence a moment ago, what if I just increase I equal to 1? Let's say things are indexed from 1 and so on up to I equal to n. What can go wrong? When I increase first element, maybe there is something special about first and last element. If I increased first, then this formula just becomes, so when I is equal 1, then number 2 plus equal a of 2 times a of 3. But this is bad if one of them has already value 0. Then I will not learn anything. Sounds good to run. Let's say what happens is I can run increase n times. Then maybe I need increase 2, increase 3, then increase 1. And after those two operations, they are positive. Can n be, how small can n be? N is at least 4, good. After I'm done with this, then by running increase 1, I get to know that. And this might be very important. It will leave me only some possibilities for what can be A1 and A2. I mean A2 and A3. But would I know A1? I might get information that A1 is just 0, 1 or 2. Oh, if Samarth is right in the chat, if AI is 2 and I increase by 1, then the number of triples will increase by 1. I will get a new triple. So only this is when I don't know a number. So let's say that every number exists 0 times or once. So you can say input is binary string, but hidden input. Two, 3, and so on. Maybe I should do some backtracking. Like, I will figure out an order. If that problem is easier, then it's only enough for me to figure out order of increasing. And for now, I'm guessing that this order will work. Run this. And then what? And then try with some backtracking or DP, figure out what can be values of everything. Gather all those informations and do something. This problem is much harder if, depending on my answers, I need to adapt and do something else. This seems not that hard. If I ever get this increased, then I know that value. If not, then all values were apparently 0s and 1s. They keep changing here, of course. And at the end, I'm figuring out what can everything be. And I will hope that it's unique with this order. This will be quite a lot of implementation, but shouldn't be that bad. Initially, I will not write any interaction. I just want to check if my solution works. I will increase in some order. I will count scores. There is a hidden sequence. I will not access it other than in this function. Compute score. Well, initially I'm running generate this thing. And let's say that n is 4. Let's start with that. And times push a random value. Let's say it will be 0, 1, or 2. This gives your value 0, 1, or 2. That. And let's print it. This is my debugging template to print name hidden and then values. Later I will try bigger n, of course. Score. For every element, triples plus equal. This is formula for the number of triples you can take among X elements. And here consecutive. That. And I will run this function multiple times. And from that, I will try to detect what is hidden. And we'll compare that. Also, I can access n, but I cannot access hidden. There is some order. From 1 to n minus 2. Push back I. 1, 2, and so on up to n minus 2. Then 0 and n minus 1. Now I remember that I'm in conversation on Facebook with my friends who participated. I remember somebody said about trying some order, so I might be going in a good direction, but I don't know a full solution. After that, can you solve problem that on Codeforces? I will continue checking out problems from this contest. After that, I'm doing F. Thank you for your streams and YouTube videos, helped me a lot. Thank you. Thank you, Detonat3D, for nice words. Can you do some Isaka problems? I am going to do that, just don't know when. Okay, in this order, we are asking. Let's maybe start with that. There will be a pool of possible vectors. And hidden will be a random one of them. How many possible vectors there are? Let's say I put random things there. I will say that I know that it's one of those vectors and trying to detect which one of them. At the end, I will assert that no two vectors would create the same scores. This way, I will check if my algorithm works. If yes, only then I will move to implementing really the interaction. Pull pushback thing. So I will not for now even have this hidden thing. This should get a vector. V. This generates a lot of things. Then in this order, for every vector in a pool of possible vectors, I will simulate all of that and will check if my scores are unique. Score. In this order, I increase that by 1. Scores, pushback, score of V. And I have those scores. Let's add them to some set. Set of vector per int. Because this sequence, it describes what I would get as output. I wonder if for two possible hidden vectors, I would get the same outputs. Then I cannot distinguish between them. Let's just at the end print pool.size with name s.size. That's a very bad sign. But okay. A pool should be a set, not to have the same thing twice. That's bad. It means there were 81 vectors, but only 71 different output sequences. So this is not a good order. What if I just asked from 0 to n? If I cannot figure out any order, then I will also try to check if all my functions were correct. I will print some information. 72. This is slightly better. Let's try not asking about all of them. From 1 to n, and order pushback again n. Nope, n minus 1. What should be true after that? Order that size must be equal n. (8180). That's much better. What if I repeat 1? No. 0. No. N minus 1 was much better. What about this? Up to n minus 2. N minus 2. N minus 2. I'm experimenting with different sequences of n numbers, each from 0 to n minus 1. And I'm expecting to here get 81. Then it's good. 80 was so far the best, but not good enough. Errichto should go get his PhD and solve real-life problems. Sure, just explain to me how is it better than teaching people online. Is there a plan to do stream with Radeusz? Yes. I'm not a particular plan. I will do that one day. Now it's harder to get people physically here. Like, Radeusz lives in Warsaw. He could come to my place. He was in my place multiple times. But now it's harder. Do you want us to play Minecraft or solve problems? What else? What else? I can do that in random order, but what's the point? Actually, n is now very small, so let's just try different things by hand. Later, I can also tell my program to check all possibilities. Yeah, let's do it. I will create a random order. I will tell my program to find any good order on 4 elements. Assert that pool.size is greater than s.size. If this is not true, then program will break. Something is wrong. I didn't choose a seed. Oh, round. Now every time different order. Whoa, first one worked. That was lucky. 3, 2, 1, 3. This is n minus 1, n minus 2, 1, and n minus 1. So this means that also 0, 1, 2, 0 should work. I didn't try that. 0, 1, 2, 0. Yeah, this works. Cool. Let's then remove that. and try this for bigger n. So it's all elements except for the first one, and then the first one again. Right? Something's wrong. '81, fingers crossed. Works. For n equal to 6, cool. Still, there are that many possible vectors, and each of them created a different sequence of numbers. Let's try with slightly bigger numbers. Okay, so I will do queries in this order then. Increase things on position 0, 1, 2 up to n-2, and then 0 again. Apparently this works. I don't know why. My program told me that it works. You don't have to always prove things. Could you move your self-cam to the left, please? You want to see top right of the screen? Here we go. On the left, we have this just so new people could Google it. How much time elapsed since he started doing these problems? We can easily check. Errichto submissions. Previous submission was then, so 30 minutes. 30 minutes ago, I solved the previous problem. Now I need to implement this, like finding that vector efficiently. If anything will contain 2 or more, except for the last number. I'm not asking about the last number. But let's not worry about that. If anything other than last number contains a number bigger than 2, or at least 2, I will know what it is. Please tell me that n is small, like 20. No. I would appreciate 20 because then I can iterate over all possible binary strings. Let's copy this, not to lose it. DCPP testing DCPP. Do I want DP or backtracking? Numbers are quite small. Backtracking should do a job. Will it? Yes, it should. So I will have a recursive function to figure out every next element of the initial sequence. And there is a. If a.size is already equal to n, then print it. Otherwise, try every number. And make sure that it matches the sequence of scores we get. And this is a sequence of scores, and I'm trying to match that. My current I is a.size -1. If this formula, I can use x, I can even copy this. No, it's not that simple, because I need to now simulate things. Another function. Okay. And because there's also order. This is partially this is prefix of that hidden vector I'm looking for, and I'm going to check if so far it agrees. If maybe there is some possible suffix that will match everything. This is len. For everything in scores, well, first scores contains what happens before the very first query. It is about increasing, right? Every time I touch something from that, increase must agree. You should give shout out to other creators also now, like that and that. I am going to make a video to shout out smaller creators, but I don't want to do that now randomly to skip somebody. Yes, there is, for example, Algopedia. You can check out his channel. Like somebody said in comments in YouTube. Now I'm solving problems. I don't need to do everything during this problem solving stream. Yevenesh in Twitch chat, read FAQ below the video. That's annoying. So multiple times I will apply this. I should maybe fill this vector to the end with -1s. And then do this. Yes, this should be fine. Fill A to the end with -1s. Those are some fake values. They are not really there. -1s, maybe even -infinity. That. It's important that they're negative, and after increasing by 1 multiple times, they will keep being negative. For everything in order. But first, before order, something happens. Current score is this. If I have a full string and current score is not equal to what it should be, return false. This means that I already have the full vector. I didn't really put any -1000s. Otherwise, I have something. Now, for everything in order, a of I plus plus, there is new score. That. Now, if I changed, in what way? If I is smaller than len, if this, then the number of triples must agree. So, number of triples, new triples. How many new triples appeared? It's new score first minus previous score first. New consecutive, new score second minus current dot second. If that, and to what do I compare that? To scores? Should new triples is scores of something, yeah. Oh, turn from 0 order.size. Actually, this is up to n. Modified index is this. And I'm changing from scores of turn to scores of turn plus 1. Scores of turn plus 1 second minus this dot second. This says how really for my vector, my candidate to be the answer, how many new triples I got, maybe like information 5 new triples. And this says, looking at this, the output given in the interaction, it really increased by 7. So if I modified a real number and new triples is not should new triples, return false. If it only appears if I is in products that are all real. So this and that and that, unless they don't exist, it's also fine. If this is a case, and let's do full screen for a moment. And new consecutive things, different don't should. That and return true at the end. This means it's a good vector. I hope that my running time will not be too big. It might be n to 4th or something. Return false. Just this. Plus 1's greater equal n. If it's outside of the array, it's also fine. This just means I'm not involved in any product of triple, including minus 1000. Also, this can give me an overflow, right? Let's go with minus 5. If not okay, then this is bad. Now this recursion will go through all the vectors. Whenever it meets something reasonable, it will return it. And how do I run it? I just run recursive of 0. Order is global, so I should create it here. Then run recursive for empty vector, not a 0. And it will find something. I can put assert false here. If I get to this situation, it means something went to this place, something went badly, because whenever I find answer, I exit from a program, I terminate. I need to later change this to really printing the answer, like in the format they asked. Let's check the interaction. How long do you think you will stream right now? I have no idea, to be honest. Maybe an hour? You need to win, compete to get a job? Have you tried though? I think you didn't read FAQ. I described why I don't want to work there. The first line is n. Second line contains 2 integers which represent the number of triple subsets. Let's do it better. Still without interaction. Still without interaction. Let's do this. Let's say there is some hidden thing. N is equal to nothing. N is equals to 6 for everything. Hidden, pushback, or let's read it from the input. Read and of course this will not happen when I submit. I just want to be able to run it locally first. Read hidden of I. So I can now pass something from the input and check if it works correctly in that case. Then recursive, but also I need to populate scores, and that will be scores pushback score of hidden for everything in order. Increase this thing by 1. Scores pushback score of hidden. And that's everything. For 2222. Found it. Notice that hidden is just a local thing. It doesn't exist there. Also, yeah, that's fine. Chat, what should I check? What sequence? That's not correct. Not correct. KFA. Let's see. Oh, I need this every time, don't I? Yeah. And new score, I don't update. New score is equal, no, current is equal. Yes. No. I can copy this to check it every time, but it shouldn't be necessary. You need to set n before setting the order. Good call. Thank you, Enson, in Twitch chat. Correct. Let's do this thing as well. Instead of exit 0, let's say return. And now I should see just one thing printed. If two things are printed, it means for two vectors, it thought that it's okay. This assert doesn't matter. I'm going to remove it. I didn't use n. And finally, how fast will it be? Let's say hidden is this. Random binary string. That's too slow, but I'm compiling with some slow flags. Let's go with this. What I'm doing now is related to my templates. Don't worry about that. That was fast enough, but what if those are all zeros? And what if they are big? That's faster. And what if they are usually this, but from time to time big? I'm measuring time. I'm looking at if for various inputs still it's fast, like that, you know, milliseconds. Seems okay. Now it's time. By the way, it's a very bad idea to use interaction early on. Now I am quite sure that my program is good enough and I cannot interaction. If you started with interaction, there is no way to test your solution, or at least it's very hard. Now I'm going to do that. First and I will indeed read it. Second line contains two integers. This. I need to read scores. Let's create a function to read that pair of scores. Put that to, do you see it? You don't, sorry. Scores implies back AB. I will run that multiple times. Read n. Now for everything in this order, print it in the form of that plus I plus 1. I operate with indices from 0 to n minus 1. They have from 1 to n. This thing flashes the output, but is quite slow. Generally use that only in interactive problems. Otherwise use \n in C++. And after everything, read. This will read a parent, add that to scores. This thing, hidden, I don't need hidden. Do I? I don't. Run recursive thing. And this should say, in what form do I print the answer? Exclamation mark. Cool thing in Codeforces is that you don't have wrong submission penalty when you get wrong answer on the first test. So I usually just submit this and only then test anything. Maybe there is at least, I don't know, 10% chance that it does work. And that mainly depends on interaction I just implemented, because previously I tested other things. Doesn't look promising. Oh, passed test 1. Running contest 11. I'm mostly afraid about time limit exceeded then. My program might turn out too slow. How long did it take me? 50 minutes? Yeah, 50 minutes. Oh, well, it's visible here. It was a bit easier for me because I remember something from conversation with my friends. I talked about stuff, so without talking and explaining anything, it would be half an hour, but I don't know if I would get a correct idea during a contest. Plus, it helped me to know that it was hard for other people, so it isn't some construction. Accepted. If you need any calculator when I solve things on Codeforces, you can go to my profile and submissions, and everything is there. It's public. You can open and copy if you want. Just don't copy paste and submit it as your solution, because that's stupid. It will just mess up your statistics. Then let's go with problem E, because E1 should be easy enough. What were the points? Good enough. This might be, I'm not sure, this might be the last problem for today. For a moment, let's see a chat. Is Errichto on Instagram? I am not. Is there any reason people use in-place back instead of pushback? Yes, it is faster for pairs because it doesn't copy a pair. It just puts it directly there. Just like Detonat explained. I used to have a bot to copy messages between YouTube and Twitch. It doesn't work currently. I will fix that in a few days, hopefully. So now sometimes you will hear me referring to comments from the chat that you don't see because I'm live on YouTube and Twitch, and you might apparently then comment was from the other platform. Oh, I have quite a lot of views on both. 65 on Twitch, 75 on YouTube. I'm positively surprised. But when I go, this is top of science and technology right now on Twitch. It's not sorted by views. Interesting. I'm here. I thought that it is sorted just by viewers. Computer science singing in the church? Is that for sure computer science? Wait a second. Oh, science and technology, not computer science. I wouldn't count this as science and technology, but it's interesting. Tanish on YouTube, why did you write the same comment 10 times? I think it's more than 10 times. Stop. I don't have time to answer to all the comments, and it shouldn't be an optimal strategy to, in that case, repeat your comment over and over again. You can write later a comment below a video. If I have time, I will answer. Okay, now problem E. There's easy and hard version. Just like in CodeGem, they will differ just with what? With constraints. Chiori loves dolls, and now she's going to decorate her bedroom. As a doll collector, I can't speak. As a doll collector, Chiori has got and dolls. The if doll has a non-negative integer value AI up to m, and m should be very small, not that small. I'm saying meet in the middle. Looking at this, almost always limit up to 35 or up to 38, something like that. It means meet in the middle for bits. Cherry wants to pick some, maybe 0 dolls for the decoration, so there are that many ways to do that. Let x be the bitwise XOR sum of values of dolls Cherry picks. I want to choose a subset of numbers such that their bitwise XOR has exactly I bits on. Is that right? So they claim in this sequence there are, for example, 20 subsets such that the XOR of those numbers, it has 0, 1, 2, 3 bits on. If somebody knows this problem, please tell me if I understand something incorrectly. What's the difference? M is up to 53. That's unusual. Okay, I can do Gaussian elimination, and then what? This is a bad problem for a stream, in my opinion, because a lot of people will not understand what is happening. It has big prerequisites, unlike the previous problem. The previous problem could be theoretically understood by every person who has some experience with recursion and with some algorithms. This one requires knowing what is happening with bits and Gaussian elimination. We can do Gaussian elimination because it doesn't change the space spanned by those vectors. It's funny that I think today I was talking with somebody in English and I didn't know how to say a space in linear algebra, space spanned by vectors. And I needed to ask friends about this word, span, to span a space. I might want to skip this problem because I'm weak at such things, but after a moment. So Gaussian elimination doesn't change that final multi-set of possible XORs I can get. I can do that, and then most of things in the input will be 0. I can kind of skip all of that. Then the problem will boil down to doing meet in the middle. N will be limited by M. N can be like almost a million, M is 35, but after we do Gaussian elimination, the number of non-zero elements, so N, will be limited by M. Suggestions for DP problem resources? Well, watch my DP lectures on YouTube and then solve random DP problems. There are tags on almost every platform. 35 is good enough for meet in the middle, so that should be. Can somebody in the chat tell me, I don't want to look at the editorial, please tell me if this problem uses meet in the middle. Am I right that this version uses meet in the middle and the harder version doesn't? After Gaussian elimination is run, the input will have some special format. Shahir, if you have a question about some video of mine, ask in the comments below that question. Let's think. If this is the input, I think this is simplest possible format. No, this one will change this into 0, but it is possible that they have some extra ones. And this one will remove this thing. Yeah, but they can have more ones on the right. Whatever. This could be input after we run Gaussian elimination. If you want to look this up, it's this, but understanding it requires linear algebra. So if you don't know what that is, likely it will be too hard to understand. In Twitch chat, I need to scroll the chat. I missed some comments. How do I subscribe? Lol. On what? On Twitch? I don't know. Follow. Click follow or something. Looked up to what a bitwise XOR sum is seems ridiculous and pointless. Yeah. Now, what do I do with bits? I'm thinking about any idea other than meet in the middle, which is some particular technique you need to know. Well, actually, how do I use meet in the middle? That should be maybe the question. If I look here, no. So let's assume that input has n up to 35. Can I solve a problem? I was so confident that it's meet in the middle, and I don't know how to apply it. Through bits or through n items? Can you explain binary index trees? For sure, not today. I need to create some website. Yeah, I will do something for that during boring stream. I will create some general place where you can make suggestions. In particular, recently I got a lot of requests for DP with bitmasks, so I am going to do that in May, sometime in this month. I cannot just do some DP from left to right, because it's important which things I took. How many ways there are to get 0, 1? If I look at this bit, or just let's focus on this thing. Here, this is the only bit in this column. So I can say in exactly half of all strings, this will be 1 in XOR of everything. But also it means this is used, and it might be 1 in other things as well. Does it give me any information? Not really. What else can I do? Let's consider meet in the middle of items. For this set of up to 17 values, n over 2, I can compute every possible XOR. Then I have set of values, other set of values, each of size 2 to 17. And I need to combine them. Can I do that? I think you need the option for viewers. Oh, I thought that that person is talking about. I thought that you are talking about following. I'm not a Twitch partner, so there is no option to subscribe, like for money. Editorial is too complicated to understand, but there is 2 to m over 2 present in complexity. So it is meet in the middle. At least it should be. No, I'm not that sure. I don't have any idea right now. And I'm quite sure that this is the last problem I'm solving during this stream. So expect this to end in half an hour or so. I might be stupid here that I don't yet know how to solve easy version. Meet in the middle is not written exclusively in tutorial. Thinking. During a real contest, I would sit down with a piece of paper. I would just stare at this paper and like write down something like that. And looking at it, you can think about possibilities. What can be done? What can be observed? Which division is this? Division 1. I think meet in the middle can be applied on the number of set bits. Like in numbers from the input, I highly doubt it. I would have no idea how to do that. I just consider two things, either to do it like that, or like so vertically or horizontally. I cannot do meet in the middle vertically, because if for that half I figure out like how many ways there are to have 5 bits on, then it is not independent from the right half. So let's skip this idea. Let's think about this kind of split. I have 2 sets of 17 numbers. Problem seems too hard, even the editorial is scary big. Maybe they prove something in a formal way. Nice pause, Errichto. Thank you. Thank you very much. On my videos already, or even during such problem-solving stream, I noticed how much I touch my face while thinking. Often I do something like that, like that. As I said, in the chat now, don't give me suggestions for videos, because I will not remember them anyway. In a few days I will resolve this issue. I will create some place where you can suggest things, or maybe vote on next videos. No, I have no idea how to solve this. I'm looking at the beginning of editorial. Hello Canon and Kelk in the chat. The bear behind your back, what's his name? His name is Bear. Build linear basis A with given numbers. Suppose, oh, no, I didn't want to click that. This is what I did. K is the length of A. S of A is the set consisted of numbers which can be produced in A. What do they mean here? P of I is equal to the number where x belongs to that set and pop count of x is I. Oh, they mean the number of such numbers x that this is true. If yes, this is a bit broken English. Ans of I is equal to the number of doll picking ways. Oh, no, wait a second. Okay, no, everything so far is trivial. It is just, yes, we do Gauss elimination and then we need to find the answer, but what about that? Algorithm 1. Yeah, we can find all elements of base. This is 2 to 35. Let's assume the highest one bits. The number of those words are enough for me. If the number of elements here is 5, so what is it called? Order of base, of linear base, is 5. Then this is the number of those special bits. This one. What else do I have? That. As I said, if you don't know linear algebra, what happens will not help you a lot. Those are some special bits. Let's change them into 2. They are unique in their columns. And now I'm guessing that there are n minus, let's say that n is a limit for size of that, or k. Let's go with k. K minus 5 other bits. And I'm guessing that solution will be 2 to min of k comma k minus 5. Then it will be, so it's O of 2 to k over 2. How to do that? Obviously, if the number of elements in base is small, I can go through all of them, easy. Now, what if there are a lot of them, the number of other bits is very small. For each of those, so it will be dp. I think it will be dp, go through all the bits and just keep a mask of what happens with those other bits. Because for the number of those special columns is 5, equal to the number of elements. For all other columns, for those columns, there is only one element in every such column. This is what happens after you run Gauss elimination. So I claim that it will be dp on the row, in which row I now am, count high bits that are on, and mask other bits. After I'm done choosing things about those elements already, this says how many of those I took. So how many of those special columns are on. This is the current row, index of current row. And this is mask representing other bits, those that are not special columns. And if this is smaller than k over 2, then this is small enough. I claim that's the solution for easier version. I can either start implementing or finish reading the editorial. What's the motive of this video? The motive is that there was supposed to be a Codeforces round and it was cancelled. But I had time, I wanted to solve some problems, so I'm doing that now during a stream. This seems to be for hard version. No, my solution will be in this complexity. That where this is size of, so order, I think it's a name in English, of linear base. And this turns out to be 2k over 2, so fast enough for 35, but not for this. How does the input look like? That. Let's start coding. And I wonder when was the last time when I implemented Gauss elimination. Input is red. Now, what Gauss does? For every column from left to right, it tries to find a number where this column is on. Oh, also, those are long loops. Important thing to notice. For every column, in what order should I go? Doesn't really matter. For every bit, try to find a number where this bit is on. Then make this bit 0 in every other number. I will modify this in a moment. If this is on, then this is a special number. Go through all of the numbers and get rid of one in those. And just so you'd see what is happening. Let's say this is the input. I'm looking at first column and I'm noticing, oh, this is a special bit. It is equal to 1 and I want to get rid of all other ones in this column. So this will change to that XOR this. So 1, this is changed, this is changed, and this is changed. This is what happens. If this and should be bit. Do I cover? Yeah, I'm covering part of the code. Sorry about that. Can anyone give me the link or the current problem? You can Google this, but let's say once I will paste this in both chats. Problem Chiori and doll picking. Now I'm doing Gauss elimination. It's enough to iterate for bigger indices. If a of j and this bit, if this is on, and do that. But also I want to move those special rows to the beginning, like this one. No, then this will change. Well, let's say this will denote the number of special rows already, starting from A. If this bit is on, then go through everything. If this is not that, if aj contains it, then change. And increase A by 1. Let's print it for starters. Bit. What timer app widget did you use in your 30-day lead code video? I don't know why so many people ask that question. You can Google stopwatch and it's this thing. You see? If you Googled stopwatch, you would find it. Or actually, if you Googled timer, I think you would also find something of the same style. You know, you can switch here. Let's copy inputs. It's always useful to have those as files, in and into, for example. I don't want to copy paste it multiple times. 3 and 6. Is it 6 here? Let's try something where I know what it is. 4, I don't know here, 10. Let's try numbers 2, 4, 6, and 6. Then A should be 2. It is. No, I'm looking only at first A numbers. If the number of them is small, let's say 20. If the number of them is small, then I can iterate through all of them. Also, let's say this. From A to the end, I have just zeros. This is what Gauss elimination does. Then I will iterate for all the masks, all the subsets. Again, I have a modulo. I will need to multiply that by 2 to something, but that can be done at the end. Or here. This way I computed 2 power n minus a for all those zeros, because any subset of them will give me the same thing, so I need to multiply answers by that. For everything in answer, print becomes a long. So I will have 2 algorithms. This is easier one. Iterate over subsets of those A elements, compute the XOR, long. I think it's very easy for me to forget about it somewhere. I should even consider using just longs without thinking what should be done, should be used. But I will try to do it better. Hello, am I late? You can, rewatch the stream if you want. You have a great Hungarian accent. I think this should be comment of the day. Thank you, Liev. I'm not from Hungary, but I'm happy to hear I have a great Hungarian accent. Have you considered using Vim? Yes, I have. Have you considered using Genie though? Genie is very nice and convenient. For competitive programming, at least. XOR of this subset. Answer of pop count of x plus plus. Okay. So far, so good. But the other part will be much, much harder. This is my DP. Let's copy. I need to remember this will be kind of to do. If I left this and submit it, then on samples, I'm not checking the correctness of this part. So I'm going to change this to -1 temporarily. So always this part will be run, or let's say false and that. Now for sure this part will be run. I want to get accepted on samples this way, then remove that. I will put a to do here. Every time now I compile, it will remind me about a warning. What's with all the comments about the editors and the watches and all of that? Yeah, like people don't understand how little those things are important. You participate in ICPC? Yes, I have twice. In some of the previous years. This will be the number of ways. Row. Row can't high. Sounds like 17 by 17. Let's think. 20. The limit was 35. So this will be up to 16. Actually, 22 should still be fast enough, I believe. 2 to 22. Yes, it is very fast. What's the time limit? 3 seconds. Well, harder version doesn't matter at all. So this will be up to, let's assume 15. DP of 16. Like here, it doesn't hurt me to use value bigger by 1. And what this is 32 times 1000 times 16 times 16. Is that small enough? 32. Yeah, it's 8 million. That will be fine as well. DP of 0, 0, 0 is 1. There is one way to achieve that. Iterate over rows. Iterate over count high. And the mask so far. But what is mask so far? I need to only consider bits that are not high bits. High bit is the first bit of everything. So maybe this non-high. For every bit in those first A numbers. Also, shouldn't I resize this? Doesn't matter. For every bit, I will check if it is the first bit in any number. Or maybe for every number. I have number, AI. I want to find its first bit. Can it be 0? Can this number be 0? It can't. Because then it wouldn't be part of linear base. Real programmers use Emacs. Real programmers use, what do they use? I don't know, assembler? Or those, how is it called? I don't know, punch card. Real programmers use punch cards, guys. Editors. For every number, find the first bit. Well, this is 0. Bit plus plus. Now this is a first bit. How do I mark that? High bits push back this. Also, they should be decreasing. Let's make this additional sanity check. I smaller than high of I plus 1, because this is what Gaussian elimination does. Real programmers use their brains. No, real programmers don't use brains, they just implement. Okay, and now I want to find non-high bits. How to do that? For every bit is high, is true, false. I here check if it exists in high. I know that things like that can be done with a function. There is function find, but those for loops are easier for me than to think, what was the function name? How to use that? Is high. If not is high, pushback bit. Let's print them. High is this and non-high is 2. Let's try to check that. This represents number 1, 2, 4 and 8. And is that true? So they claim that number 4 doesn't appear. But it isn't. It appears here. But can it disappear? It's also there. I find first 1, it's in both of those. And then the 2, oh, the 2 will cancel. So this is equivalent to what? The 4 plus 1, 3. 3 will change this into 5 XOR 3, so 6. Then the 6 will change this. Like we'll get rid of 4. Okay. I tried to just simulate Gauss in my brain. Real competitive programmers use their brains. In quotes. I don't know what brains in quotes mean. Now, if non-highs is, for example, 2, 5, 6, then I should map it into 0, 1, 2. Mapping of size. Well, first, let's call this special or something. Call it Z. A minus non-high size. A minus what? M minus A, right? Mapping of size Z. I want to say 5 maps into 1, 6 maps into 2. Mapping of... Do I really need that? I don't. When I'm looking at this number, let's call it X, then you can iterate over non-high bits. If X and non-high of I then turn this on in mapped. Now I mapped some big mask into something with just at most 16 bits, something like that. Mapped XOR with that. Just looking at non-high bits. Okay. The P of row count high mask. From that I consider two scenarios, either to take this number or not. Just like in some previous problem, I will do operation with modulo. I can either move to this without changing anything, or this will do this state plus equal the number of ways to get to this state. Or I can take this number, then new in this column a new bit appears here. That. What do I want at the end? When I'm done, so row is equal to A. Count high is up to A. Add self. Answer of what? Count high is the number of bits from those special columns plus pop count of mask. A count high mask. Add self not declared. Add self should just do A plus equal B. Reminder, I'm finishing a stream in a moment, just after I'm done with this problem. Just maybe I will answer a few comments before that. Whoa! Assertion failed. Zero, 1, 3, 2, 3, 6. That's bad. How is it possible? Somebody has this bit on. He shouldn't. Something is wrong with Gauss. Do I swap? I don't swap. Oh, swap of A of I comma A of A to move it to the top. Answer seems correct here as well. And now a very nice trick. How to test your solution without a brute force. I can here create some big test. Like, can I do it by hand? How many numbers do I have? 6, 9. 9 numbers. They are limited by 20 bits, I believe. And I will run 2 parts of my code on that. Quite big tests, I believe. So if this, I get some answers. And now I will change this to true. Now first part of my code will be run. And this way I tested 2 parts of my code against each other without brute force. They print the same results, so I assume that both of them are correct, unless there is some same mistake magically. There can be a mistake still in Gauss or somewhere with modulo operations, but everything seems fine. Now if A is at most 22, run this, otherwise run the other thing. Okay. Think time to submit. Complexity, as I explained before, is 2 to k over 2. Or actually I have either 2 to 22 from this, times 22, but quite fast. Constant factor here is small. Or here it's like, let's see, 16 times 16 times 2 to 16. But it will be too slow for the harder version. Harder version needs, I don't know, both parts should be improved or something completely new must be understood. Yeah, I'm very weak with those kind of, how is it called? Bit set convolution? Bit convolution? Random error. Out of binds in line 135. If possible, I will copy this test. It is not possible. 16. What about an assert that A is at most? Oh, I'm doing something wrong. Wait a second. Oh, rows can be up to 36. And then count high. Doesn't hurt me to put it big as well, because I think I still have easily enough memory. What is important is that here, this 16 comes from 35 minus 22. During a real competition, you will not get information like this. It's some feature from Codeforces for to make absolving easier. But during a stream, I'm not going to do anything honestly and not use help like this thing. During a contest, I would just get runtime error. Then I guess I would generate some big test and see what happens on my machine. Seems that it will be correct. This is called Walsh-Hadamard transform, and I used to know something about that, not that much anymore. A lot of lemmas. Then there's problem F. I will read it, but I'm not going to solve it unless it seems amazing. So today I solved those three. Journey, what that is. Just to read the statement, that's it. No more lead code mate. As you see, I'm solving Codeforces right now. I'm up to 35, nice. Yeah. Thanks, Enson. There is a tree, M travelers. If of them will move from this vertex to that. The ith traveler and the jth traveler will become friends if and only if there are at least k edges that both will go through. So you're given m paths. How many pairs of those paths have at least k edges in common? And what will that be? My very first thought is centroid decomposition. But let's judge the difficulty of this problem. One person solved it during a contest, so it is too hard for me, especially for a stream. And it was 2 minutes before the end. Very nice. This is example of a nice performance where you skip a problem, but then manage to solve a harder one. So what? Centroid decomposition, and then I don't know what. Maybe every path. No. Oh, it is for sure hard. Just from curiosity, I will look up tags. Divide and conquer graphs trees. Seems to match centroid decomposition. There is no point for me, almost no point for me to look up editorial now, so I'm not going to. What about a moment to answer comments? What's going on? Strange. Well, let's do it that way. I'm finishing a stream. Just will look up a few questions in the chat. What year you participated in ICPC? Isn't it in FAQ? I don't know, 5 years ago and 2 years ago. Can you make a video for your Windows setup? What is Windows setup? Install Windows and that's it. You're asking how to install something for C++. You can download. I think I did that actually during one of the streams. If you really go through my streams on Errichto 2 YouTube channel, you should find it. But I did it with help from chat, so I'm not really a good person to teach you how to do it. And yeah, I'm now on Linux. Well, this didn't show that I'm on Linux. Here you go. Please solve the last problem of latest LeetCode weekly contest. No, yeah, like a comment from a moment later. No more LeetCode, mate. No more LeetCode, mate. For some time. Hello, Reddy. How are you? Sorry, but I'm finishing a stream. In finding highest bit, why you find the rightest one? Doesn't really matter. I can say that I reversed all the numbers. It was more convenient for me to go with bits from 0 to 34 and say 0 bit is the least significant one. Video on DP similar to binary search? What? I didn't get that comment. Are you aiming for Nutella in future? I think I'm around Nutella level. There is some rating inflation, so it's easier and easier to get some rating. And I had 3000 in the past. On the recent round that was unrated, I thought that my performance is bad, and I got like -17. So it means that if I perform well, I will get a big plus. So I think that if I participate in Codeforces rounds, I should get back to 3000. But it's not that I aim at something. And to be honest, I would be happier about winning a round because it never happened. This is my goal. Sometimes if I see problems D and E, I see that I can solve problem D and get a nice rating, or try problem E and possibly win a round. I will choose the latter. I prefer to maximize my chance of winning a round instead of maximizing my expected rating change. Can you explain your template code? You shouldn't use or understand my template code. It's very, very, very ugly. It is something that our ICPC team created to make it convenient for us to use with some things in mind. But the process of creation it and then understanding it is very complicated. Wondering why you didn't participate after 2019? I did, but it was unrated. I participate in Codeforces rounds when I have time. And for some time I didn't have time. Plus, when I practiced for ICPC, I had a lot of motivation. I wanted to win that contest. Now I'm back to practicing because there is Google Code Jam, but other than that, I'm not going to forever, for the next 50 years, like compete in every Codeforces round. What's the point? Just when I have time. But I did competitive programming during that time. Good luck with winning a round then. Why is the rating inflation? It's about formulas for rating. And imagine this. If there is a new person, by default they have rating of 1500, but most of the time I think they go down. So they new person gives away some rating to existing users. What other thing there is? There is split into divisions, division 1 and division 2. And because of that, something strange happens on the boundary of divisions as well. Plus, it also makes sense that the more users you have on a platform, the bigger should be rating of people in the top. Because if you are best among 10 people, you are cool. If you're best among 100 people, your rating should say you're better. I guess that's some explanation. Did you do Code Jam stream as well? If yes, I missed it. I did. I didn't do Code Jam problem solving, I think. The issue is I know all problems from past several years of Code Jam. For Code Jam, I will practice by solving AdCoder problems, I think. again, videos on DP similar to binary search. I don't know what that would be. What is dynamic programming similar to binary search? DP is something completely different from binary search. Sometimes problem uses both, but this has nothing to do with your question. And I have other plans first. Videos on number theory, not in the near future. My future plans to have a YouTube channel. Okay, that should be enough. I'll quickly maybe check if there is some new information here. So many likes. When I create a Codeforces round, I should get back to top 1 contribution. Yeah, here it was said that announcing canceling round a few minutes before a contest is quite bad because, for example, I already sit down in front of a computer. It would be so much better to get that announcement 20-30 minutes in advance, because then I wouldn't waste time. But you know, it happens. Likely Mike worked till last minute to hope to fix an issue. What else? When I scroll comment section like that, I'm usually look for yellow or red nicknames or for a lot of upvotes. And I'm just reading that. I don't have that much time to read everything. Also, I hate when people post images unless they are very related. Things like that is so boring. An image like that. Or when a contest ends and somebody posts waiting for sys tests to happen. What's the point of image? Let's test my reading skills. Yeah. Round. Pelodatki. Nepolatki. Nepolatki Codeforces. Nepolatki Codeforces. Yeah, and can somebody translate? And am I pronouncing that correctly? Nepolatki. Technical problems with Codeforces me around. Technical? This word doesn't sound like technical. And a lot of words like technical, or for example printer in Russian, they are taken from English. Nepolatki. Okay, so I did say that correctly. I'm very surprised because technical words in Russian are very similar to English words. Images should be banned in such a long post. I don't know if that counts as canceling a round. Maybe. Or like pushing a round by 3 days. But this is not what happens in Avengers. Scrolling comment section for memes. I wonder if now problem solvers, by the way, should write in their announcements, please don't participate in my round because I don't want technical issues with the contest. Versus malfunction round. Okay. Just bugs, blah, blah, blah. Cool. So this is it for today. Thank you everybody for watching. Consider following, subscribing, stuff like that. My main channel is, of course, youtube.com/Errichto. Soon you can expect there some content on for example, graphs. But first, maybe follow me on Twitch, and here on this stream schedule, it will be visible when I will be next time live. And I plan some more problem-solving streams and boring stream where I will do some organizational stuff and, for example, create a place where you can give me your suggestions for content, for ideas, videos. Yeah, that's it. Thanks for watching. Bye. Have a nice day or night. See ya.